Title: A Love, Unfolding in the Classroom. It was a bright autumn day when Amira first noticed him. The sunlight filtered through the windows of the classroom, casting soft golden rays onto the rows of desks. Amira sat at the third desk in the second row, staring at the front of the class, trying to focus on the lesson. But her eyes kept drifting to the boy who had just walked in. His name was Arjun. He was a new student, having transferred mid-semester. With his tousled hair, the slight stubble on his chin, and those deep, thoughtful eyes, he seemed different from the rest of the boys in their class. Amira, who had always been a studious and reserved person, didn't pay much attention to anyone other than her books. But there was something about Arjun that intrigued her. When their teacher, Mrs. Sharma, introduced Arjun to the class, Amira's attention immediately shifted. He was soft-spoken, polite, and clearly nervous as he fumbled with his words. There was a genuine sincerity in his voice that made him stand out. Over the next few days, Arjun quietly settled into the class, sitting at the back. He rarely spoke to anyone, though Amira noticed he had a habit of quietly observing everything. Whether it was the way he gazed out of the window during break time or the thoughtful way he answered questions, there was something about him that made Amira want to know more. She wasn't sure why, but she felt a strange pull toward him. One afternoon, as the bell rang for lunch break, Amira gathered her books to leave the classroom, but she froze when she saw Arjun sitting alone at his desk. The rest of the class had already left for lunch. It was unlike him, and Amira couldn't resist the urge to approach him. "Hey, are you okay?" she asked, her voice tentative. Arjun looked up, startled, but then he smiled, a gentle, almost shy smile that made his eyes crinkle at the corners. "Yeah, I just like to stay behind sometimes. I don't really know anyone here yet." Amira nodded, a bit surprised. She had assumed that, being a new student, he would have made friends by now. But something about the way he said it made her realize that maybe he wasn't as comfortable as he seemed. "You know, you can sit with me if you want," she offered, surprising herself with the offer. She had never really made much effort to engage with people outside her small circle of friends, but there was something about Arjun that made her want to reach out. To her relief, Arjun hesitated for only a second before agreeing. "Thanks, I appreciate it." From that moment on, something shifted between them. They began to sit together during breaks, talking about everything and nothing. Arjun had a dry sense of humor that Amira found surprisingly refreshing. He had a way of making her laugh, even on the dullest days. And Amira, with her quiet intelligence and warmth, made Arjun feel at ease, even when he didn't have the right words to say. As days turned into weeks, they became inseparable. They studied together, helped each other with homework, and shared stories about their lives. Amira learned that Arjun was passionate about music and played the guitar, a talent that fascinated her. In turn, Amira shared her love for books and poetry, which Arjun found captivating. They spent hours discussing their favorite authors and debating the meaning of various poems. One evening, after school, Arjun invited Amira to a local cafe where he was performing with his band. Amira had never been to a live music show before, but she was excited to see Arjun in his element. The cafe was small but cozy, with dim lighting and a crowd of people talking and laughing. Amira stood near the stage, watching Arjun as he tuned his guitar. He caught her eye and smiled, his face lighting up with a warmth that made Amira's heart flutter. When the band began to play, Amira was captivated by the music. Arjun's fingers moved skillfully across the guitar strings, and his voice, though not perfect, carried a raw emotion that resonated deeply with her. It was as if he poured his soul into every note. Amira couldn't help but be mesmerized by him, both as a musician and as a person. After the performance, Arjun joined her at her table, looking slightly breathless but smiling. "So, what did you think?" he asked, a hint of nervousness in his voice. "I think you're amazing," Amira said, her voice sincere. "You have so much talent, Arjun." Arjun's cheeks flushed and he looked down, clearly touched by her words. "Thanks, Amira. That means a lot coming from you." As the night wore on, they talked about their dreams, their fears, and everything in between. Amira learned that Arjun had always dreamed of becoming a professional musician, but the pressures of life had kept him from pursuing it. He spoke of his family's expectations and how they had always pushed him to focus on academics. Amira, in turn, confided in him about her own struggles with fitting in and always feeling like an ow.